Wow. Wow. The Indiana Pacers win game one in dramatic fashion. Absolutely unbelievable game. Finals, game one, final Pacers 111, Thunder 110. I'm recording this right after the game. I was out watching it with a couple buddies. So I kind of want to give a little instant reaction here just to get something up. And unbelievable game. So I kind of want, there's a couple things I want to touch on. First being how dominant the Thunder started. They looked really comfortable for a team that young. I mean, even the Pacers are young, but how like confident and posed the Thunder came out and played their style of ball. They got guys like Caruso going early. They got Shea going early. They got the guys, the X factors going early. J-Dub did not have a fantastic game. 31%, 17 points. You expect a lot more out of him. But Dort couldn't miss a three, hitting, I want to say over 50% of his threes. And kind of the defensive schemes you saw. You saw a lot of man-to-man this time with Caruso getting a lot of minutes and Cason Wallace getting a lot of minutes, particularly coming up and playing really, really high on the Pacers and not really letting Tyrese Haliburton get involved much with the offense. And what we saw with that is we saw guys like Andrew Nembhard and Obi Toppin and even TJ McConnell have really, really good impactful games because they were essentially taking Tyrese Haliburton fully out of the game, which obviously it doesn't matter. Tyrese Haliburton finished the game, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. But the most important thing, the win and the game winner on the right corner, right inside the three. Step back, moonshot, rattles around, 0.3 seconds left, and the Thunder can't get the lob. I mean, we saw a lot of interesting looks here. We saw the Thunder kind of expose Miles Turner a lot. They were doing a lot of Chet up top opportunities, letting him drive on Miles Turner, using that speed to get around Miles Turner's subpar footwork. And Chet was getting to the rim, but the help defense from Indiana, from guys like Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, even Thomas Bryant in the very few times he played, the help defense when Chet would beat Miles Turner was unbelievable. It was exactly what you would hope from help side defense, coming from the block and coming to help the drive. Pascal had a very good game, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. A -10 for the game, which is interesting. TJ McConnell also had a really good game with 9 points, -13 though. He had a very good first quarter, I should say. But OKC didn't trail except for the game winner at the very end of the game. OKC had full control at this game. At one point early in the fourth, they were up 15 points. I want to say with 8 or 9 minutes to go. And the Pacers just go on these runs, man. They went on a 15-4 run in about 3 minutes at that 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Then they went on a 12-2 run for the last 2 minutes of the game. It was just a complete choke by the Thunder in those final minutes, which, going around looking on Thunder Twitter, you'll see a lot of mixed reactions. You see a couple guys talking about the officiating, the lane violation, which is never called. But look, he stepped in the lane. I understand it happens every play, but he stepped in the lane on a big free throw. They're going to call that. Not every free throw is important as the one that was. And it happened. It's the finals. There's going to be a lot of weird officiating, a lot of feeling things out, especially with such a foul-heavy team as the Thunder and the pace that the Pacers play. It's always weird to see how that first game is officiated, and this is no different to that. But I thought the officiating was fine. I think looking at the stats, I mean, the Thunder should have won this game. Barring officiating, which a lot of Thunder fans will say, and especially in that fourth quarter. But look, the Thunder had 6 turnovers. The Pacers had 24. The Pacers out-rebounded them, out-blocked them, out-defensive rebounded. They just out-rebounded them. But here's the big kicker. Out of the 24 turnovers, 24, that is absurd. That is, you will never see a team again, most likely. Well, you will, but with 20-plus turnovers, win a game. and they only had 11 points off turnovers. The Thunder could not score off of the opportunities they were creating, which that was a really, really big thing about the Thunder, is how many turnovers and how much points off turnovers they can generate. And it was a really interesting matchup for me because the Pacers don't generate a lot of turnovers. Now, the Thunder got their way here and generated an obscene amount of turnovers, again, being 24, but they just didn't capitalize on it. Same with the rebounds. The Pacers won the rebounding battle by a lot. The Pacers out-rebounded them 56-39, so a 17 out like margin there. And they only got where is it? They only got 12 second chance points compared to the Thunder's 11 second chance points. So the Thunder weren't capitalizing on turnovers, and the Pacers weren't capitalizing on their second chance opportunities, also grabbing 13 offensive rebounds. It's just insane. The fouls, Indiana actually had more fouls, if you want to go back to the officiating. Which I understand it's situational officiating that they're going to complain about, which, again, I'm not saying they're wrong or they're right. I don't agree with it. I think the officiating was balanced on both sides, either balance good, balance bad, however you want to interpret it. But it's just, it's crazy to me that this game, that the Pacers won. Like I said, the Pacers' biggest lead was 1 at the .3 in the fourth quarter, the Tyrese Haliburton game winner. And the Thunder were up by 15. Looking at quarters here, the Thunder just controlled the game. They outscored the Pacers by 9 in the first quarter. They outscored them by 3 in the second quarter. It's a 12-point gap going into halftime. In the third, the Pacers rallied back a little bit, outscoring them by 3, going into the fourth. It was a 9-point game, and the Pacers just outscored them. I mean, they got key stops. They did everything they needed. I think a big thing that was happening is they were getting past the perimeter guys. Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Shea were not doing a good job at containing these guys at the three-point line like they were doing in the first half. We saw time and time again, Andrew Nembhard was out there cooking. He was dancing. He's doing whatever he wanted to him. And he penetrated, causing the bigs to crash, Jalen Williams to crash, Ihart to crash, Chet to crash, to help guard the paint. And it was an easy kick-out 3. I want to say Obi Toppin and Miles Turner got 4 or 5 wide-open threes just of Nembhard or Haliburton being able to penetrate the defense and get what they want down there. And it's so deadly because you see Haliburton's floater game, or you see Nembhard's ability to finish at the rim. Benedict Mathurin also did this. And you have to crash. And that leaves their lethal three-point shooting big man, Miles Turner, or it leaves an elite scorer, Pascal Siakam, open in the corner. One thing I didn't like that the Pacers do, obviously, was turn the ball over, but they didn't play their brand of basketball for the first half. They didn't really play it for the second half, but they did for the end of the fourth, so I'm gonna let it slide. But they were slowing the game down. It didn't help how the Thunder were covering the Pacers, again, being really, really high, not letting them get in their offensive sets. But it was really just not the pace that they're used to, which is exactly what everyone thought would happen. The Thunder would smother. The Thunder would do everything they can to disrupt the flow of the Pacers' offense, because once the Pacers get into a good flow, they're borderline unbeatable. And they just weren't executing what they needed. They got big shots out of the rotational guys, being T.J. McConnell, being Obi Toppin. And other than that, they just hung around, making it as close as they can until they were able to strike. And they got the right momentum at the right time, being the end of the fourth quarter, really like the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter, going on those multiple runs and just doing what they need to do. Now, some matchups I was pretty interested in. Lou Dort was the primary matchup for the ball handler most of the time. It didn't matter who it was. They were switching a lot, just making Lou Dort on the ball handler. Which he didn't really do great. Everyone kept saying how amazing these guards are, how amazing, the defense that these guards are. And they really didn't stop Indiana that much. Yes, they were suffocating. Yes, they were playing really high. But once the Pacers were able to penetrate, they really could do what they wanted. The Pacers came out with a phenomenal game plan. You can tell who's been here and who's not compared to Mark Dayton-Hall and Rick Carlisle. This is Rick Carlisle's 6th finals. I want to say this is Mark Dayton-Hall's first, maybe second when he was an assistant. But it's just so crazy to me that Tyrese that that they've won. I genuinely I'm shocked. Looking into game two, I think we're gonna see some sort of zone. Indiana shot 46% from three, which a lot of it was them crashing in and kicking out. So I think what the Thunder will do, they'll probably try a zone to disrupt Indiana's offense again. It'll probably be, if I had to guess, a 1-3-1 with either Chet or Ihart down, getting either Caruso, Dort, Case, and Wallace at the top, pressuring the ball handler, and kind of having Weak, hoping for traps and preventing pretty much crashing, because that is what killed them, was the drive and kick. So I think that will be a priority that OKC does. For Indiana, they have to prepare to be smothered. I mean, Tyrese Haliburton had a good game outside of him being pretty ineffective or unusable, I would say. Ineffective in the first half, finishing with 14, 10, and 6 on 46% shooting, 2 for 7 from 3, 3 turnovers and 2 fouls, 53% true shooting. But it's just the impact he has on the game is so much bigger than the stat sheet, but the Thunder really found a way to shut that down in the first half. So I think the Thunder want to pretty much watch tape exclusively on the first half and that run in the fourth quarter and just watch what they can do better on a run like that. I mean, I don't think Dayton Hall played the correct starters or the correct guys during that run. Caruso looked absolutely gassed. Jalen Williams wasn't hitting shots in the fourth. So I just think there's a lot. I'm just in shock. I was at a restaurant with, like I said, with my buddies, and I had to come home and immediately get this out. I'm just in shock. Man, shout out Tyrese Haliburton, man. He does it again. But all right, I will see you all next time.